Hello, and welcome to Box Beta. Today, we will be talking about wayangs. Wayang is more notable and synonymous as a form of shadow puppetry that is popular in Indonesia and that employs a lot of stories from diverse cultures. However, the art form of wayang is much less dependent on puppets as one might think, because there are many forms of wayangs. There is wayang kulit, which utilizes 2D puppets made of leather. There is wayang golek, which utilizes 3D puppets made of wood. Wayang klitik, which uses 2D puppets made of wood. Wayang orang, which uses live performers. And wayang beber, which presents only a static scroll of a scene, and the dalang will narrate over the static scroll. And there are many genres or story cycles that accompanies wayang. For example, there's wayang purwa, which focuses on old Hindu epics. Wayang menak, Islamic tales of King Amir Hamzah. Wayang cepak, focusing on tales of Javanese kings. Wayang babad, which focuses on historical stories. Wayang wahyu, which focuses on Bible stories. Wayang madya, which focuses on East Javanese stories. Wayang kancil, stories of a mouse deer. Wayang sulu, stories of the 1945 Indonesian Revolution. And dalangs, who are performers of the art form of wayang, may invent their own story cycles. And behind the scenes, here we can see there is a dalang who is holding up a puppet in front of a blenchong, an oil lamp, so that the puppet's shadow can be projected onto a cloth screen, which is formally known as a kelir. So the dalang will narrate over with the puppets, but there are many styles of narration, but the two main ones are pakem or galur, which dictates the dalang may not narrate off script or deviate too much from the source material, while the narration style of karangan allows the dalang to be creative and to stray a bit from the source material. The dalang also has to look at the movements of different types of characters and also know which puppets represent which characters or which character type. So nobilities or halus characters are defined in their puppet structures or depicted as small stature and with rice grain eyes, and the dalang would make them move gracefully. Examples of these nobility characters are Arjuna, Hanuman, and Gareng. And one of the more distinctive features that the nobility characters have is their pointy, long nose. Another character type are monsters, which are depicted in their puppets as fat and giants with protruding eyes. And the dalang would usually show them to have ungraceful movements. Between these two character types are the warriors. These warrior types have both the features of a nobility character and a monster character. The features may vary on the warrior character. And the history of Wayang in Indonesia may be uncertain with its origins, as some speculate Wayang was invented by the Wali, the 9 saints who strove to convert Java to Islam, to entice people to go to the mosque. So the Wali would use the Wayang puppetry as a form of entertainment to get children or adults to come more frequently to the mosques. Another theory is Wayang was imported by Chinese Muslims who strove to promote Islam in medieval Java. An ancient myth also tells a story of Prince Aji Saka, who brought Indian culture into Java. Most scholars, however, believe Wayang originated before the spread of Islam. The art may even originate from Indonesia, as stories about the rice goddess Dewi Sri were performed to ward off crop pests during harvests. So a lot of scholars believe that there is evidence that the art form of Wayang may have been made in Indonesia, or may have been imported much earlier than evidence suggests to show. And this has been the presentation about Wayang, its background, what it is, the history, and the mechanics, both the artful mechanics of how dalangs operate within the stories with the puppets, and how the actual puppet's shadow can be projected on to the screen. Thank you. And don't forget to like and subscribe.